I think it's a good thing to be efficient at work, to do the job right the first time without problems, without having to come back and fix it. I think there's a lot of benefit, regardless of the type of job you do, to being able to be that efficient. You could look at efficiency as how long does it take you to do the job, but you have to add to do it right at the end of that, because it's not efficient, do the job, and have to go back and redo it, obviously. So for a lot of these things, even if it takes a little longer, it's better to do it right the first time and not have to go back to it. And that goes across all domains, personal life, professional life, work, home, however you want to put it, school, even. Obviously, with learning new skills, there's going to be some inefficiency because you don't know the thing. But the efficient part then is not getting the job done, but learning how to do the job right. And so I think that's important to keep in mind as well. I know it can be frustrating to have to repeat something, especially when you're learning a new skill or to fail at doing something new. But it's far better to get those out of the way and figure out how to do it correctly and then not have to keep redoing it time and time again. If you do good work in that way, especially with trades like plumbing, AC repair, electrical, any of those where people don't have to call you back to fix something, they don't have to call you back because it wasn't done right, then you could build a pretty good list of customers where they call you up because they know you're good at what you do. You'll do it right. And if it's not done right, you'll fix it. That's the other thing, right? If you do mess up, fix it and eat that extra cost, provided it was your mess up, and you can have really long-term customers. And I think a lot of people know that. But I think it goes beyond just those kind of obvious examples. Obviously, being efficient at your schoolwork means you pick up the material as quickly as you're able, and it's going to be different for each person and for each subject. But learning how to do those things, understanding it, actually understanding it, not just rote memorization, is definitely a benefit to your own life. Obviously, there is some rote memorization in all forms of schooling because it really depends on, and how much will depend on what field you're going into. But it is sometimes useful to just brute force memorize something, and then so it's there so you can recall it, and you may have to do that, and it can be a useful thing. It's not to say memorization is bad or that you shouldn't bother. It can definitely help with really understanding the material better if you can actually recall what the material is about. And I think that's pretty clear as well. More corporate setting, office job, the efficiency can be a little more difficult because most of the time you're not really rewarded for efficiency. At that point, the efficiency reward is really for your own benefit than anything else. That is unfortunate, I think, with those corporate style jobs, is at least from what I've heard from people I know in those positions, where it's kind of, there's no benefit to getting the job done quickly because there's no extra reward or anything at the end of it. You don't make more money, you don't get any extra recognition. And in some cases, at least from what I've heard, you could make enemies by being too efficient. I've heard multiple people from, in their early 20s in a corporate position, office job, to people up in their 60s where they're talking about jobs they've had. One was like inputting checks. This was very old, early days of the internet where you had to like manually enter checks. And they were putting in that data way faster than anybody else on the team was. And they actually had to slow down because they were making enemies of their coworkers because they were too efficient. And that's something to keep in mind with the office job. Hopefully, where you work, that's not the case. But that is some things I've heard where that can be a problem. So obviously you have to use your best judgment. But the other thing is, like, if you can do a task at home more efficiently, right? Like if you can, make it so that you can pick up your room easier right before, on Sunday evening before you go to work. So you're ready to go. So you don't have to think about stuff in the morning. So then you aren't late. That can be helpful. If you can do stuff like when you're going grocery shopping and you're doing the self-checkout, and it's just so like it's easy to scan all the barcodes. Like one of the things at Sam's Club, at least, is they have the little barcode scanner that you can pick up and scan all your stuff. If you have all the barcodes pointing up, you can go through that checkout way faster. And they have like a phone app checkout, scan and go, they call it. And that's pretty nice as well. I've been using that lately because it's just really convenient and I'm not stuck waiting in line at the checkout. So like those little things where you're doing them regularly that you can make a little more efficient. That's also to say that these are things you don't enjoy the doing them. Like I don't enjoy shopping that much, especially not for groceries. So I don't want it to take any longer than it has to. So that's something I want to kind of optimize for efficiency. But well, there's obviously a cap on that task for efficiency because I enjoy doing the task. It's like playing video games. Or even tabletop games or RPGs, there's sometimes the phrase of they've optimized the fun out of it. They've made themselves so efficient at the game, they don't enjoy it anymore. It's not something to be aware of as well. Just to kind of keep in mind as like, hey, maybe don't do that if you enjoy this. Don't take all the fun out of it because you've made yourself so efficient at it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this is more work focused, right? Because that's really where there's real benefits to being efficient, particularly if you get paid per job. Right? If you're a plumber and you can see 2 houses in an hour because you can fix whatever problem it was super quickly, well, that's more money for you. Some of those other examples aren't quite as clear cut as like that sort of thing. Try to, maybe every once in a while, just take a few moments and see, okay, how could I do that task better? So I don't have to keep doing it so often, or maybe so I can get it done faster, whatever it may be, get some time back, right? And, maybe for some of those, it's paying somebody else to do it for you. Maybe that's the most efficient thing, most efficient use of your time. But I think for most of us, that's not the case, at least based off of all the things I'm seeing online on how Americans don't have any money. Everybody's living paycheck to paycheck. That may not be the most efficient use of time, but maybe it is. I don't know. That's a choice you have to make for yourself, right? Anyway, that's all I've got for this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.